After an invite from friends, I travelled from Tasmania in Australia to Russia, where I met brothers Sergei and Alexander Sienlyaniki, both historic maritime adventurers. And on a rainy day on the shore of Onega, we met the new ship Pilgrim. Pilgrim is styled on historic White Sea sailing ships that worked the waters of Russia's far north in the 1500s. Made from Karelia pine, the 50-foot ship was built by Polar Odyssey Maritime Museum on the banks of Lake Onega. So let's have a look at what we got. Looking forward, the coach house from the helming position, and up at the bow, windlass, bowsprit, and the foremast. Side decks, reasonably uncluttered, with opening ports. In the aft cabin, the captain's cabin, all ready for fit out. And underneath the helming position is the engine bay, which has a 50 horsepower Vetus motor in it. But further forward from that, we've got the heads on the starboard side and bosun's cabin on the port. Forward of that is the saloon and galley. Come on, Elia, put your boots away. That's the boy. In the galley, we've got a 2-burner gas stove and nice cargo style hatches, let in plenty of light and ventilation when it's not raining. A local priest made prayers and blessed Pilgrim for the epic journey that lay before her. Splash day finally arrives. The crane turns up and backs into position to get ready to put Pilgrim into the water for the first time. Easy does it, lads. Once in the water, the planks started to take up and the pumps worked pretty hard to keep the water out. But after an hour or so, they eased up and she was sitting well above her marks. The next job was to step the main mast and continue the task of rigging and completing all those jobs that need to be done before we could set sail. And here's our captain checking out the new sails that Kevin's just battened onto the yards. And the process of rigging continues. And even Slava, our chef, tried his hands at splicing and knotting.
Cross, 4 arms net.
The white night was a new experience. It's 10:30 at night at the moment, and it's as dark as it got. Not yet fully ballasted, and beam onto an afternoon breeze. Pilgrim took up a little bit of a role. It made life a bit more of a challenge on board. Even climbing aboard had its ups and downs. Next to the old icebreaker, we had a couple of workboats. This one here that carted a lot of timber while I was there, and the one on the left was a fishing boat, and I went out on there one night. It was good. Yet more ballast has arrived and has been painted, and this will be the last lot if we can fit it all in, and hopefully the boat will be a little bit more stable. Some of the crew had a big night last night. Too much kabak. Pilgrim became a popular attraction to passers-by and friends.
Samsung S7 когда-то. Samsung намного хуже.
After 3 long weeks of fit-out and preparations, Pilgrim and her crew were ready to cast off lines and set all sail.
Мне кажется, надо его вот так завести, попробуй. Давай, он же будет там Конечно, нет, надо вернуть его,
I said turn it around. Развернуть?
The captain didn't like the fact that the sail was blowing onto the mast. It wasn't giving it good shape. So he wanted the yard brought over, or the lug brought over, so it would get a better shape in it. But that's where the fun began. Taking the yard across might seem like an easy thing to do, but the way that it was attached to the mast meant that when the yard went through, it twisted and bound onto the mast, making it difficult to raise or lower.
Raise it. Он не идет, говорит. Застрял. Он говорит, потому что мы его перевернули, он говорит, эта веревка очень.
I decided at this point that because the sail didn't want to go up any further, the easiest thing to do was to set the reefing line and reef the sail down like that, which then allows it to have shape, so even though it's not a full sail, it's at least sailing, and the next time we pull it down we can deal with it then.
So that line around it, by doing the tack, has made it too tight and it's binding on the mast. Yeah, we can't go more up because that bit around there.
Как бы его свернуло. Веревку свернуло, когда вы его переворачивали, он свернул, и он как бы ее зажал.
And now everybody understands what's going on.
Смотри, вот, перевожу, да?
We're
Уже,
not going up and something down.
уже не иду, зарабатываю, да? Да?
It's fine.
Говорит, застревает, говорит. Да. Его надо развернуть опять.
Time for a boat hook, I reckon, and a trip up the rigging.
If you hold on to this, I'm going to take the boat hook and try and pull it down.
А если маслом смазать? Нет? Не то? About some olive oil? No?
Wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt.
Some pig fat? Sala?
Do you want to jump out, mate?
Maybe bigger mutton. Maybe
No.
bigger.
No.
Wood.
It's all right.
Be careful.
Yeah, well, just as well I got long arms. That fixed it. Now we can start again.
It's small.
Maybe
Bigger.
yeah.
Well, or make this bigger.
Либо они сделают больше.
Больше, да. Как интересно, а? Very interesting.
That is the one.